All right. So we always like to give, I actually still have this rolling. We like to give our Patreon. So we have Patreon peeps that support the show, which is amazing. And that's building very slowly. So I just want to say to all our Patreon people who are going to hear this, like, we just love you so much. Thank you so much for your support. It allows me to do things like this, like buy mics that we can travel with and get more expression on the show. Because we only do in-person interviews. I think like the connection, like feeling the energy and also the quality of the sound and all of that is so important to us. So one thing we didn't even touch upon is your nutrition, because I was actually listening to our last podcast that we did in August, and we were talking about how you were like almost vegan and how you love animals and all of that. So where are you with your nutrition now?
Great question. I go back and forth with how I feel about fish. I feel really guilty about it. And I have friends that try to force chicken on me. That never happens. I will not eat chicken. So at this point, part of living in New York, I eat a ton of vegetables. That's really all I eat. Vegetables. I'm not quite vegan. And I feel guilty, especially sitting across from you.
Why do you feel guilty? Well, I think,
because I don't cook. Part of it is just, it's a lazy thing.
No, but girl, we're sitting in like one of the vegan capitals of America. NYC has so many vegan places. But yeah, money, I know. Please tell me about it. But the guilt, I think it's the guilt that you want to look at. I think that there might be a misalignment there, and that's how it's showing up for you. There's a great podcast I'm going to recommend you listen to. It's from Main Street Vegan, which is the academy I'm going to, and it's called Fishes Feel, and it's actually
Fishes Feel. Oh no,
Fishes Feel. I know I might put the nail in the coffin for you, but it's a really interesting conversation about the intelligence of these fish and how they work in communion with one another, and how there's this one part of it which is so interesting about God, and I haven't listened to this in a while, but it's something about where they'll go to like there's cleaner fish, not like cleaner as in I'm cleaner than you, but cleaner as in like go to the dry cleaners.
Right.
Yeah,
they clean.
So there's like the cleaner fish, and the other fish will come, and these fish will clean them.
I've seen them. I've played with them, which is why I have a hard time eating fish, because I'm a scuba diver, and you go down and you play with them and you watch them, and they're so cool, and you go like this with your hand, and they think you're a fish, and they do their thing.
Yeah, and it's really interesting. So there's like an actual higher social dynamic to it where the fishes will judge the cleaner fish and say like, and not say, but like be like, oh, that one didn't do a good job, I'm not going to go back to him, and they'll go to another cleaner fish.
So like, I'm not giving you any money.
It's so interesting to see this social dynamic and hierarchy in the fish, and I think it's so easy to just kind of disregard them. But there's something there that you're feeling, and then. Another thing, I just read The Skeptical Vegan by Eric Lindstrom, which is a great book, and like he became vegan. He was on our podcast. He became vegan from a bet with his wife, like who was going to do chores for like 6 months in the house. So he was like, I'm not going to lose the bet. Well, it's been like 6 years and they're vegan and their babies are vegan and everything. And he used to wear this shirt called the Skeptical Vegan. And he would wear it to these like vegan, these vegan like potlucks and stuff. Cause he was just like, I'm eating vegan, but I'm not going to be eating vegan forever. And anyway, in his book, he's a really funny guy, but in his book, he talks about, I hope this isn't too heavy for you, but he talks about how the way that fish die is like the worst ever because we're suffocating them, because we take them out of the ocean and then they suffocate. And a lot of times they're just like thrown in a bucket or whatever on the deck of a boat, and they suffocate. It's like us drowning.
Yeah.
Isn't that like I've never, I mean, I don't eat fish. I never even really liked fish, but I never looked at it that way. And I felt so much pain when I read that. But do you enjoy, so my question is, do you enjoy it? Like when you eat it, do you like the taste of it? Does it make you feel good? Like, do you feel good after you eat it?
Yeah.
You do?
I do.
So what's the guilt?
Well, because part of the reason why I stopped eating meat in the first place just started with I just didn't like it. I felt better not eating chicken, beef, and pork. I just didn't ever like it. I remember being a kid and not really ever liking it. Fish, on the other hand, especially when I lived in Alaska, these were fresh caught things, and like I knew that these guys weren't trying to exploit these animals. They just there's no gardens, right? This is what they're eating. They're eating what they got from the land, and so there wasn't any guilt there. When I just know I can live without killing things, and I really do enjoy the taste of a good fish. I have no idea where it comes from. I have no idea how it was caught. I have no idea what it went through to get onto my plate. So there is a little bit of that.
It's a little like you're kind of in this cognitive dissonance.
I am.
But has it gotten stronger? This is I want to ask you. Since I saw you last year, because we talked about this last year, has it gotten has that guilt or that misalignment has it gotten stronger for you? Or do you feel like you're kind of just treading this like even level of
I think
liking it but not liking it?
So what I envision for my spiritual self, because right now I consider this conversation to be in my spiritual realm. When I move and I have an apartment of my own, I really want to look at how much trash I'm throwing away. I really want to look at what my relationship to the earth looks like. I don't know how I feel about eating fish. I know how I feel about eating chicken and eating beef and eating pork. I just don't like it, and I don't want to hurt them. I don't want to be a part of that system that kind of tortures them. Sorry, I know that's a terrible way to put that. And then of course when we talk about fish, I don't want to torture them either. So so now I'm even more like conflicted about how I feel about that.
So it has gotten a little stronger for you.
Yeah.
Think? I would say
farm fresh eggs I don't have a problem with. And part of that's because I see these hens are happy just to drop an egg, and they're not going to be a chicken. So I don't have any problem with farm fresh eggs. So I'll pay up the nose for eggs. But a fish, I don't know where it came from, and yeah. So yeah, it's gotten.
Well, I think keep listening to that and keep feeling into it, and then I think for you, it's going to come to a point where you make a choice. And what's coming up for me is the same way I got off of cheese. It's not because I wanted to get off of cheese. I freaking loved cheese, but I ordered a salad one day. And one day, just one day, one choice, one sentence, I said, I'm not going to get the goat. Can you hold the goat cheese? It was who the hell just said that? Hold the goat cheese? That's insane. Hold the goat cheese. No way. Hold the goat cheese. And then I stayed with it, and I got the salad. You know what I mean? So I think it might just get to a point where one day you're like, I'm going to just choose not to. When I want to, I'm going to choose not to right now. And you'll know that moment. But I see a deeper spiritual healing here in the being okay with what you're doing now. And if you're not okay with what you're doing now, then make another choice. Either be content and be okay, because the eating of the fish and then beating yourself up about the fish is not healthy for anyone.
That's true. 100%.
Right? So it's like you were saying, everything that you touch, can you touch this part of you with more love? And if you can do that, I can give you a million reasons not to eat fish, but I also believe that we're all on our own agenda, and that when we fully express and exhaust these pathways, then we know we stay aligned with what we're here to learn, And so that's why I'm not an intervener. I don't want to intervene on anybody's path. I encourage you to fully exhaust this part of you with the whole fish, because there's something there for you. There's something there. And so maybe it's even just sitting in meditation, like, what is it that I'm supposed to heal? What is it that I'm supposed to learn? And it might just be this high level of yoga, which is contentment in all conditions and finding peace with the choices that you're making.
Well, so yes, 100%. And, it's interesting because there are times when I'm like, you know what, I've powerfully made this choice to eat or not eat whatever is in front of me. And then I have friends that try to tease me a little bit about it. Oh, you don't eat chicken, but look at you right now eating that little shrimp, huh? I'm like, wow, yeah, you're right. You're calling me out on it. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, that's it. I'm done. Like, no, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. My friends were just trying to get me to eat chicken by teasing me about how I'm eating fish.
Well, and it's funny because you've chosen not to eat those other things because you don't like what happens to them. It's not like you don't eat meat because you're like, oh, I have a history of cardiac problems or whatever. Like, you're doing it for the animals.
Yeah.
But there's something about the fish. So you've got karma there with the fish. Mm-hmm. And so we have this amazing opportunity to heal our karma in this world. And that's what you get to do. And I don't think that what you choose is wrong or right. I'm not saying that you need to be choosing something else. But I highly recommend, like, you feel into that guilt. And, like, what is it there that you can transmute to love? And then I think that choices, whether they're new or not new, will come from that transmutation of love.
Well, I'll take it on for sure. I'll definitely take it on.
Most people probably don't look at their food choices in such depth, but thank you for that little extra. I know our Patreon people will like it, but yes, I would consider Angela to be very much plant-based, animal ambassador, and just an absolute love in this world. I'm so glad to have you here on my little pad. Yay.
And your pad is beautiful.
I know. I know.
A little haunted, but that's okay.
Yeah. I can't stay in crappy places. And it's not like this is super fancy, but it's beautiful. It gets the job done.
Here you go. Boom.